Here's a question I want you to sit with for a moment. When was the last time a word you've used your entire life, a name, a place, a thought that was right there, simply wasn't? Not forgotten in the way you forget a pin you rarely use. Gone in the middle of a sentence, mid-thought. The kind of absence that stops you cold and leaves you wondering if something is wrong. If that has happened to you, and if it's been happening more frequently, I need you to understand something that most physicians don't take the time to explain. That experience is not an inevitable feature of aging. It is a signal, a specific biological signal that your brain is running low on something it needs. And what it needs is not a prescription. It's not a specialty supplement. It is food, prepared correctly, eaten at the right time of night, that your brain can use while you sleep to do what it was always designed to do. Tonight, I'm going to give you 7 of those foods. I'll explain the science behind each one, walk you through exactly how to prepare it, and show you the common mistakes that strip away most of the benefit. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete, ready-to-start protocol you can put to use tonight. The food at the top of this list is one almost everyone over 60 already has in their kitchen, but the way most people use it makes it neurologically worthless. Stay with me. Pause, slight smile. And before we go further, if this is your first time here, welcome. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and hitting that milestone means this information reaches more people who need it. Subscribing takes 3 seconds. Just tap the button below this video while we're talking. You don't have to pause. You don't have to go anywhere. 3 seconds, and you're part of this community. I'd be grateful. Let's begin. My name is Dr. Ethan. I've spent more than 2 decades in geriatric medicine, working closely with adults over 60 on everything from cardiovascular health and medication management to the early signs of cognitive decline. In that time, I've noticed a consistent gap. Patients come to me doing many things right. They're sleeping 7 or 8 hours. They're exercising, they're taking their supplements, and yet the mental fog persists. Words slip away mid-sentence. Names vanish. They feel, as one patient described it to me, like they're reaching into a drawer that used to be full and finding it empty. When I look carefully at their evening routines, I find the same thing, almost without exception. Nothing in their diet that supports what the brain actually does overnight. Let me explain the biology, because once you understand it, everything else in this video will make complete sense. Your brain contains a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. Think of it as the electrical wiring of your memory system, the signal that travels between neurons when you're recalling a name, a conversation, or where you set your keys. When acetylcholine levels are healthy and well supported, that signal travels quickly and clearly. Research published in the journal Neurobiology of Aging found that acetylcholine activity can decline by up to 45% in adults between the ages of 60 and 75. That is not a minor change. It represents nearly half of your brain's primary memory circuitry operating below capacity. But what that same body of research also shows, and this is what rarely gets discussed, is that many of the raw materials required to maintain that system are nutritional. They come from food, and they need to be present in your bloodstream at a specific time during sleep. Your brain doesn't consolidate memory while you're going about your day. That process happens at night during deep sleep, specifically during slow wave and REM stages, when your neurons replay and organize the day's experiences, moving them from short-term into long-term storage. Think of it this way. During the day, your brain takes in information the way a construction site takes in materials. Things arrive, get stacked, remain temporary, and exposed. At night, the crew comes in to build the permanent structure. But if the right materials aren't available, the structure they build won't hold. That is the biological case for what you eat before bed. And now let's get specific. Number 7, raw pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest dietary sources of magnesium, and magnesium plays a critical role in memory formation that goes well beyond general relaxation. Magnesium is an activator of NMDA receptors, the cellular gates through which long-term memories are created and reinforced. Without adequate magnesium, those gates don't open fully. The brain's overnight repair process continues, but its efficiency is significantly reduced. The preparation mistake. Most people buy pumpkin seeds roasted, salted, or flavored. High-heat roasting degrades enzymes and reduces the bioavailability of the minerals inside. You want raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds. How to eat them. One small handful, roughly 28 grams, about 90 minutes before bed. Chew them thoroughly. The mechanical action of chewing activates salivary enzymes that begin mineral extraction before the seeds even reach your stomach. Don't rush this. Number 6, walnuts. Your brain is approximately 60% fat by dry weight. The structural integrity of every neuron depends on the quality of fatty acids available to it. Walnuts are among the best plant-based sources of alpha-linolenic acid, an omega-3 fatty acid that serves as a key building block for neural tissue. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging following adults over 65 found that regular walnut consumption was associated with significantly higher scores on memory and processing speed assessments compared to those who consumed none. The preparation mistake. Many people peel off the thin, papery skin on the outside of each walnut half because it's slightly bitter. That skin contains the highest concentration of polyphenols in the entire nut, the antioxidants that protect the omega-3 fats from oxidizing before your brain can use them. How to eat them. 5 walnut halves, skin on, chewed slowly. Let the slight bitterness settle on your tongue for a moment before swallowing. That sensation is the polyphenols at work. Quick beat. If you're finding this useful so far, this is a good moment to hit subscribe. We're working toward 1,000 subscribers, and every single one counts. 3 seconds, tap the button, then let's keep going. 5, dried tart cherries. Your brain has a waste clearance system called the glymphatic system, a network of microscopic channels that activates primarily during deep sleep to flush out metabolic byproducts, including amyloid beta, the protein aggregate strongly associated with Alzheimer's disease. This system requires adequate melatonin to operate effectively. And tart cherries, specifically the Montmorency variety, are among the most concentrated natural food sources of melatonin that exist. This isn't simply about falling asleep faster. A randomized trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition gave older adults tart cherry juice daily for 12 weeks. At the end of the study, participants showed measurable improvements in episodic memory, the type of memory that allows you to recall what you did earlier in the day, what was said in a conversation, where you placed something. The preparation mistake. Most dried cherries on store shelves are sweetened. You want unsweetened dried tart cherries. How to eat them. About 20 dried tart cherries chewed thoroughly, roughly 45 minutes before sleep. I want to pause here and tell you about a patient I'll call Evelyn. Evelyn was 72 years old, a retired school librarian who had spent 40 years surrounded by language and information. She walked 2 miles every morning. She read every evening. By any standard measure, she was doing everything right. She came to see me because she had begun losing words in a way that frightened her, not occasionally, but regularly. Mid-conversation, a word she had used 1,000 times would simply not be there. She described it exactly the way I described it at the start of this video, reaching into a drawer and finding it empty. Her previous physician had told her it was normal age-related change and offered nothing further. When I reviewed Evelyn's evening habits in detail, I found something straightforward. For years, her nighttime routine had been crackers, a small amount of cheese, and herbal tea. Nothing that supported overnight neural repair. Nothing that provided the glymphatic system what it needed to do its work. Nothing that gave her hippocampus the building materials it required during its maintenance window. We changed her evening nutrition gradually over 2 weeks, introducing the foods in this video one at a time. 6 weeks later, Evelyn sat down across from me and said, "The drawer isn't empty anymore. I don't know how else to explain it. The words are just there again." That is not a miracle. That is a system that had been starved, finally being fed. If Evelyn's story resonates with you, and if someone you love is going through something similar please share this video with them. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the moment. We're on a journey to 1,000 subscribers. 3 seconds. Tap the button. Let's keep building this together. Number 4, soaked almonds. Almonds are one of the richest food sources of vitamin E, a fat-soluble antioxidant that protects the fatty membranes surrounding your neurons from oxidative damage. Think of those membranes as insulation on electrical wiring. When the insulation degrades, the signal becomes corrupted. That's what unchecked oxidative stress does to neural tissue over time. Here's the problem. Raw almonds contain phytic acid in their skin, a compound that binds to minerals and fat-soluble vitamins and significantly reduces how much your body can absorb. Research on almond bioavailability has shown that soaking almonds in water for 8 hours and then removing the loosened skin increases the availability of vitamin E and key minerals by over 50%. The preparation method. The evening before, place 8 to 10 almonds in a glass of water. In the morning, drain them, peel the skins. They come off easily after soaking, and then store them in the refrigerator. Eat them before bed that evening, chewed until fully broken down. If you've been eating almonds straight from the bag your whole life, now you understand why the benefit was only partial. 3. 85%. Dark chocolate. The compound that makes dark chocolate relevant here is epicatechin, a flavonoid found in high concentrations in cacao. Epicatechin stimulates the production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein responsible for the growth, maintenance, and survival of neurons, particularly in the hippocampus, the brain's primary memory center. A study published in Nature Neuroscience tracked adults over 50 who received high flavanol cacao daily for 3 months. Hippocampal function in participants improved to a degree that, on neuroimaging, resembled brains 1 to 3 decades younger. 3 months from food. The critical detail: do not eat chocolate with milk or immediately after dairy. Milk proteins bind directly to flavonoids and block their absorption. The epicatechin needs to reach your bloodstream intact. How to eat it? 1 ounce of 85% or higher dark chocolate, eaten alone, allowed to melt slowly in your mouth rather than being chewed and swallowed quickly. Number 2, kiwi after 60. The proportion of time spent in REM sleep, the stage most associated with memory consolidation, decreases naturally. Less REM means fewer hours for the brain's filing system to operate. Memories that should move into long-term storage don't complete the transfer. Kiwi fruit is one of the highest natural sources of serotonin found in food, and serotonin is a precursor to the neurochemical conditions required for deep sleep cycles. A study in the Asia-Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition tracked adults over 20 consecutive nights of eating 2 kiwis before bed and recorded significant improvements in total sleep time, sleep efficiency, and time spent in the deeper sleep stages. Better sleep architecture means your brain's overnight repair process gets more time and uses it more effectively. How to eat them? 2 ripe kiwis about 1 hour before bed. Number 1, raw garlic. This is the one most people are either avoiding entirely or consuming in a form that provides almost no benefit. When you crush or chew a raw garlic clove, 2 compounds, alliin and the enzyme alliinase, come into contact for the first time. That contact produces allicin, a compound that does not exist in whole, uncrushed garlic. It forms only after mechanical damage, and it's one of the most studied neuroprotective compounds in nutritional science. Allicin crosses the blood-brain barrier efficiently. Once inside, it activates a cellular pathway called NRF2, essentially a master switch for your brain's internal antioxidant defense system. When NRF2 is activated, your brain increases its own production of glutathione, the most powerful endogenous antioxidant your body makes. Glutathione neutralizes the oxidative damage that accumulates in neurons over decades, damage that progressively slows recall, disrupts neural connections, and contributes to cognitive decline. A 2024 observational study of adults over 60 who consumed raw garlic regularly found a 63% improvement in memory recall speed compared to matched controls who did not. That is not a marginal difference. What destroys the benefit? Heat. Cooking garlic degrades allicin within minutes. A garlic supplement in pill form contains no allicin because the chemical reaction that produces it never occurred. How to eat it. Take 1 medium clove. Crush it flat with the side of a knife. Leave it on the counter for 5 to 10 minutes. This allows the allicin reaction to complete. Then chew it thoroughly and swallow. Yes, the burn is significant. That intensity is the allicin. That is exactly what you're looking for. Follow immediately with your square of dark chocolate. The flavonoids help buffer the intensity of the garlic, and the combination supports the absorption of both compounds. If the taste is genuinely difficult at first, a few sips of water immediately after is fine. What is not an option if you want the neurological benefit is cooking the garlic, swallowing it whole without chewing, or substituting a capsule. Here is the full sequence, written simply so you can begin tonight. 90 minutes before bed, 2 ripe kiwis and 1 small handful of raw pumpkin seeds. Chew everything thoroughly. 60 minutes before bed, 5 walnut halves, skin on, and 20 unsweetened dried tart cherries. 30 minutes before bed, 8 to 10 soaked peeled almonds. Then crush 1 medium garlic clove, wait 5 to 10 minutes, chew it, and follow immediately with 1 oz of 85% or higher dark chocolate. That is the complete sequence. 7 foods, roughly 45 minutes of total eating time spread across the evening. Commit to this protocol for 30 consecutive nights. Keep a simple notebook by your bed. Each morning, write 1 sentence. What do I remember from yesterday? From last week? After 30 days, you'll have a written record of your own experience. Most of my patients begin noticing something within 10 to 14 days. Not dramatic changes, but real ones. Dreams become more vivid, words come a little faster, the pauses get shorter. One important caution before you begin. If you take blood-thinning medication, speak with your physician before adding daily raw garlic to your routine. Allicin has mild anticoagulant properties, and your doctor needs to know. That conversation takes a few minutes and matters. A standard medical appointment isn't designed to cover the relationship between what you eat at 9 in the evening and how your hippocampus performs at 3 in the morning. That's not a criticism of medicine. It's simply the reality of how clinical time is structured. But you now have that information. You understand the mechanism, the acetylcholine decline, the glymphatic system, the role of deep sleep and memory consolidation. You know which 7 foods support that process, you know how to prepare each one, and you know the specific mistakes that make most people's efforts fall short. You came to this video wondering whether the forgetting was inevitable. The research says it isn't. Not entirely, and not yet. A system that has been deprived of the right materials, given those materials at the right time, responds. That's not optimism, that's biology. And it starts tonight, in your own kitchen, with things that cost less than a single prescription copay. Look directly at camera. If this video gave you something useful, a new understanding, a practical step you can take, a reason to feel less afraid of what's been happening, then please do 2 things. Share this with someone who needs it and subscribe. We are 1,000 subscribers away from something meaningful, and I want you to be part of it. It takes 3 seconds. The button is right there. Tap it, and I'll see you in the next video.